everyone. Senhora Secretária de Estado de Turismo, thank you for accepting our invitation. You are very much welcome to our event. I will welcome all the other speakers as well. Engineer Raul Martins, thank you for accepting our invitation. And Miguel Barbosa from Portugal Ventures as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking on this challenge. I will now pass on to Manuel Rosa da Silva, so as not to delay any further. Manuel, please, welcome to take over.
Olá, bom dia a todos. Meu nome é Manuel Rosa da Silva. Hello, good morning, everybody. My name is Manuel. I, along with the Tourism de Portugal through Jessica and a lot of help from Banco Santander, am the owner of a small 19-room hotel in Alfama, Hotel Santiago de Alfama. I'd like to thank the British Portuguese Chamber of Commerce for all its great work in connecting Portugal and the United Kingdom, two countries united by the oldest alliance in history, the Windsor Alliance. As you may have all noticed, o meu inglês não é exatamente inglês do português de Portugal. I'm Anglo-Portuguese. My mother's from Manchester, my father's from Lisbon. And so it's an honor to be mediating this here today. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you very much, Madam Secretary of State, for taking the time out of what I'm sure is an incredibly busy agenda for you today to be with us. As you can imagine, everybody in the tourism sector in Portugal was doing just above the speed limit last year, and very happy with that the world had discovered our beautiful garden planted by the sea. And we're living, I suppose, what is unique times for all of us, both personally and from a corporate perspective. So it's a pleasure for us to be able to speak to you today, and thank you very much for your time. What I would ask everybody that's listening, I've been asked to ask you all to write your questions in the chat. So somewhere on your Zoom app, you'll have a little chat button, and you'll be able to put questions in the chat, and I will be looking at those questions as they come through, and filtering those questions and placing those questions to the people that are here on our panel today. What I perhaps would ask is the Secretary of State, Ms. Rita Marques, and then Miguel Barbosa, and then Engineer Raul Martins of the Altis Group and the HP. If each of you want to have something that you would like to say to the people on here today. We have a lot of people. I'm not sure how many, but I think it's somewhere between 100 and 200 people. So obviously a lot of people interested in what all three of you have to say. So perhaps Madam Secretary of State, if we could hear from you first.
Yes, for sure. Hello, Manuel. Hello, everyone. My pleasure to join this initiative. As you said, we are living busy times, it's true, but I would not be, fair if I would not join this seminar, because as you put it in a very clear way, Portugal and UK have been strong friends, allies throughout the years. So my pleasure to be with you today. A quick warm-up. I guess that we will have some questions for me, and then I will be most happy to answer to those questions. But a quickly warm-up from my end. So basically, as you said, we are living difficult times, troubled times. But we have been ready for a couple of days now. So we have been preparing ourselves throughout these days in order to claim that we are ready and that we are open and that we'll continue to fight if it's considered to be adequate. And why do I say that we are ready? Or basically because, as some of you may know, a lot of protocols have been put in place across the country, across subsectors of tourism. So we have been working in a very tightly way with health authorities in order to guarantee that everyone, locals and tourists, are safe when they are in Portugal, when they are in our restaurants, when they are in our hotels or beaches. And so we have been working very hard to guarantee that everybody knows the rules first, to define the rules, and then to guarantee that everybody knows the rules and that has the conditions, all the information to comply with the rules. And last but not least, we've been giving a lot of training to all the workers, to all the professionals, to all the staff that are in the tourism sector. So up to now, we have more than 20,000 people that have been trained by Tourism of Portugal in a very nice partnership with all the schools from the Tourism of Portugal. And of course, I guess that most of you know that we have been working in order to award stamps. So we have launched a pioneer initiative in the world called Clean and Safe stamp, that up to now has been recognized by more than 17,000 established. And so that's why I say that we are ready. We are also open, as I said. So we are in the third phase of our, how can I say, unlockdown process. I think that I can claim that I can say this way. So we have had several phases. So we are in the last mile, but it's a tricky mile. We know that our response so far is considered to be praised, has been praised all over the world. We have managed to contain the virus or to flatten the curve, but we are in a tricky phase because we cannot be flexible with the rules. And we all know that we had some issues in the outskirts of Lisbon. We had a kind of a spike, not in Lisbon, fortunately, because Lisbon is much more than the outskirts. So, and we do have tourist areas that have not been affected at all. But still, we are managing some spikes in the outskirts of Lisbon. And my message is that although we are open, we should not be afraid of taking restrictive measures. And that's basically what we have been doing so far. And last week, as you may know, some restrictive measures have been put in place, especially in some zones, in some areas in the outskirts of Lisbon. So we are ready, we are open. And as I was saying, we'll continue to fight back or to fight on in order to instigate tourism. I've been claiming that we don't have any asset that has been damaged or infected by coronavirus so far. Our natural sightseeing is still fit and proper. Our beaches are wonderful. Our blue sky is still here. Our people, nice people, always able, always with a smile and always able to welcome foreigners are here, more enthusiastic than ever. And so our resources have not been infected. And we'll continue to fight on to put our name in the list saying, I'm not referring especially to the UK list, but in the list of the world, in the list of the green countries that I consider to be clean and safe. And for now, I stop, and I will be most happy to answer your questions throughout the session. Thank you so much again for the very kind invitation.
Directly, Madam Secretary, thank you very much for those clear and helpful words. Perhaps before we move to the Q&As, I might ask Engineer Raul Martins, who's the president of the AHP, which most people here are members of in some way or fashion, whether you have any opening remarks before we move to Dr. Barbosa and then on to Q&A. Engineer Raul Martins.
First of all, I would like to thank you the invitation of British Portuguese Commerce and greet the Secretary of State of Tourism, the two colleagues of this panel, and all the participants. The hotels in Portugal, like the Secretary of State has said, are ready. We have done our job preparing clean and safe the hotels, and we know that is very important for the tourist What we would like is to see that all the other way to arrive to Portugal will be also safe. It means in the airport and the transportation shall be. So we have more than 7,000 stamps for all the tourism activities. That means from the rent-a-car to the hotels and all the enterprises that are involved in tourism. So we will be very happy that the tourists from all over the world, but especially from Great Britain, will come back to Portugal and stay like the first group of tourism that we have in Portugal. It is very important for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engenheiro. Miguel, do you have any opening remarks before we move to Q&As?
Oh, just a few ones. First of all, thank you for the invitation from the British Portuguese Chamber of Commerce, which I believe is the oldest Chamber of Commerce in Portugal. Also, thank you for Rita for being there. She was until a few months ago the CEO of Portugal Ventures. It was a privilege to have her as our CEO, and also to Raul Martins. Portugal Ventures is a VC, venture capital investor, so we invest in startups. And what we see nowadays, it is with even our startups, they are adapting their line of business to cope with the COVID and making the tourists and helping the tourists that comes to Portugal feel clean and safe, much like the seal from Tourism Portugal. But I think we can have a few words around this and innovation regarding more in the question and answers.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your opening remarks, everybody. We're already getting some questions in here on the, I've been mediator at several physical conferences, but I have to say this is my first mediator on a Zoom conference. So we're all learning new habits, I suppose, COVID learning. Perhaps to Madam Secretary of State, Rita Marques, congratulations for launching hashtag Can't Skip Hope, hashtags Can't Skip Portugal, and Can't Skip Opening. I think they're very catchy, especially for native English speakers. They work, and they work for the Anglo-Saxon media world. So congratulations. Can you give us any feedback on how they're being received around the world? I mean, is this message getting across? We'll put the UK to one side. I'm half British, so I feel comfortable criticizing the UK in my next question, perhaps. But how is this being heard around the world? And is it being well received? Are people getting the message?
Well, I'm biased, but yes, the information that I get is that these campaigns have had a huge impact. So the first one, Can't Skip Hope, was really a success. So the information that I have is that only in 2 weeks. So it has been launched, the campaign has been launched. I guess that most of you know that after 2 weeks from the beginning of the confinement period. So we were one of the first countries to launch such a campaign. And back then, everyone was quite lost. So to reach out for those who like to travel but could not travel was our main objective. And then to launch a message of hope, of solidarity, was also very smart. I guess that was very smart move from Tourism of Portugal. So we have more than 22,000 clicks that generated across social networks, and the video itself, Can't Skip Hope video, has been screened more than 3 million times by almost 1 million viewers. It was massive, it has been massive. And after that, I have to say that most of the countries had a kind of a copy-paste approach. And we had some examples of other countries that copied this message, instigating trust, solidarity, and hope across the world. So it was massive. Then after the Can't Skip Hope, we launched the Reading Portugal. It was also a way of saying that although you cannot visit Portugal because we are locked down, you can read about us. You can know more about our authors, our books, the ones that make us proud. And it was also very smart move from Tourism of Portugal. By the way, I don't know if people from Tourism of Portugal are with us, but I have to greet them. I have Miguel has said that I was CEO of Portugal Ventures, so I was very, very proud of Portugal Ventures team. But I have also to say that I'm also very, very proud of Tourism of Portugal team. They have been really amazing. And so the Reading Portugal campaign was really a success. So almost 3 million views of this video. And now we are launching a new campaign, the Can't Skip Reopening. So as you know, we have this hashtag of Can't Skip Portugal. So now we are migrating from the closed setting to the open setting, open mindset. So that's why we are launching the Can't Skip Reopening Portugal, and we do have some surprises for you in the future. So after all, so the balance was very positive, the huge impact, everything organic. So basically we put some investment, but you know, the people like to share positive messages, and this was really the case. And I'm almost finished. I just want to say that it's very important to communicate in a very positive, continuous, assertive way. And since the lockdown period, that was one of our priorities, to not to lose track to those that really like our country or that are curious about our country. And so our main focus was to continue to be connected and to launch campaigns in a very positive, assertive, clear way. And again, I'm biased, but I have to say that I do believe that this objective has been met for sure.
Okay, just moving to a question that obviously can't be avoided today, and I've seen a couple of questions come here. And could you update us as to what the state of play is, of the official state of play? Because I think the public state of play, unfortunately, we're all way too aware of. But you know, Philip Pope here has noted that, you know, the British are now traveling, and of the 7 top destinations, none is Portugal, which is unthinkable for anybody that takes the slightest look and interest in the numbers and the history. And well, I don't even need to go into any more detail. So I think we're all a little bit blown away. Personally, just from a personal perspective, from someone who's spent a lot of their time in the City of London in the finance sector, I think what happened between Monday night and Tuesday morning here in Portugal, whoever we have doing PR in the UK on Tuesday morning didn't catch the ball. Obviously, we've seen, I think the thing just flew straight into the Telegraph without any filtering, which is unfortunate. But in Portuguese, we say, só não erra quem não trabalha, não é? So these things happen. But can you tell us what the official state of play is with the UK government? We've all seen Mr. Cabrita's comments this morning, in the Telegraph, which obviously is where Boris Johnson used to work. So I suppose he reads it most mornings. And so what's the official state of play now? And what are we going to be doing today and tomorrow and the day after to continue building up perhaps a more faithful view of reality in the United Kingdom?
We are still in an open dialogue with the British government. So we know that there is a list that has been that is being prepared for a couple of days now, and the latest information that we've got is that that list is not going to be known today, so it's going to be known in a couple of days, because the information that we've got so far is that initially the list had 10 names, 10 countries, but it seems that some negotiations are still running, and in Portugal the negotiations, as I said, or the open dialogue is still running, and it seems that the government, the UK government, is going to release a list, a bigger list, not with only 10 countries, but with more countries. And I guess this is kind of natural, because the British market is very important to Portugal, but not only to Portugal, to a couple of countries in Europe. And so, of course, you know, lobbying and the foreign affairs channels are being very active these days in order to show or to share all the evidences that our country is safe. And it's pretty much what's happening with Portugal. So, as you may be aware, a lot of countries are using a great number of parameters in order to assess the control of the virus spreading. In Portugal, for instance, we are using the risk of transmission, the evolution of deaths, the evolution of recoveries, the evolution of infected people, daily evolution of new cases, and so on and so forth. So we do have a set of parameters that are taken into account when we assess our situation and our member state situation, our country situation. But it seems, though, that a couple of countries are only using one parameter, and it seems that UK is one of those cases. So basically what we have been telling all the officials, so to all the British officials, is that to all the staff, of all the technical staff, to the technical staff, is that we should analyze the epidemiological situation in Portugal and in other countries in a broader way. So let's see how it works. Again, the British market is very important to us. It's very dear to us. We have done the possible and impossible to claim that we are ready and we are open. And as I said in the very beginning, we'll continue to fight and to continue to fight on, to fight back in order to show that we are safe and clear and clean destination, a clean and safe destination. A lot of newspapers put a lot of news about this subject in the couple of days, this weekend. Some of them were positive, some of them are not so positive. So let's see how it goes. As again, we believe that we are safe, we are a clean and safe destination. All the tourists that are around, and we do have some, say that they feel safe, and the information that we have from the flight carriers, from all the operators, is that, and from tour operators also, not only flights, also from tour operators, is that as soon as they open up a route to Faro or a route to Funchal, the tickets are selling. So people want to travel. People still believe that we have something to show and to give a nice experience to those who want to travel. So we'll continue to fight on, absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Secretary. Just one follow-up to that, and perhaps to give you some additional color. This week, and I'm sure other people that have hotels that are now reopened and operating, we received a wave of cancellations from a number of destinations that weren't just the UK. And so, you know, one thing is negotiating with the UK, the other thing is getting the right press message out there. So I think on behalf of everybody on this panel, we wish you the best of luck, and please ask you on our behalf to deal with the Ministério de Negócios Estrangeiros of Portugal, and also the PR machinery that we have overseas, because it's not just the UK government that's at issue here. It's actually the international press, because the reflection of what's happening, you know, we were getting reservations going up and up and up until Monday. And then from Tuesday morning, we've had more cancellations and reservations.
Yes, I'm very much aware of that. And, you know, our Spanish friends did not help with that article in El País. Most of you may know that a couple of news came out that were wrong, that were really wrong, that have fake information. But yes, absolutely. I think we have, going back to what I said in the beginning, when I said the importance of having a good, positive, continuous, assertive communication strategy. Yes, we are trying to have that in tourism, with Tourism Portugal campaigns, but it's not enough. We need to have that in a broader way, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question here for Engineer Raul Martins. And the question is, has the clean and safe stamp been important in giving confidence to the travel agents and the foreign travelers and the travel agents? Have you found that the clean and safe process has been very helpful to the Altis Group and to the other hotels in the AHP?
The Portuguese Hotels Association supported and has been involved with Tourism of Portugal since the beginning of elaboration of clean and safe stamp procedures. It means that we are doing our best for that accordance with the rules. The feedback that we receive is very positive because we are looking for a success story that already has been replicated in other countries and even by international entities of the sector, such as the World Travel and Tourism Council. The response from hotels and the other areas of tourism sector were very positive. And we have 2,600 tourism enterprises that already have the seal, more than half of total in the country. Nevertheless, there is 17,000 stamps for all the tourism activities, like the Secretary of State have said. Well, Portugal is known worldwide for its hospitality and now for security as well. However, visits Portugal knows that a certain establishment complies with all the health safety rules defined by official entities, which is an excellent business card for Portugal as a safe destination. And more than this, I would like to comment the last situations between tourism in Portugal coming from Great Britain. Let me tell you that the big power of press is who make the story. Sometimes the foreign government, the foreign minister or our Secretary of State wants to say how it goes, but the real power is from the press. The people like to read the press, natural, to inform how the situation is. And unfortunately, the press likes to give bad news. It's normal. It's not in England. It's not in Spain. It's all over. Because like that, they sell more. So we have to do what, when there is terrorism, we have to do the against terrorism. So we have to invite the journalists from United Kingdom and other countries to come to Portugal and to see how the things are in the country and exactly in Lisbon. That there is just the surrounds of Lisbon, that a little part you can't go, but the tourism doesn't go there. Even before the pandemic or with the normal situation, when you go to certain cities like New York or other cities, you know that there is certain areas that you shall not go. The tourists shall not go, and even is forbidden to go there. So it's quite the same. There is always some parts of the countries that, even if there is not a pandemic, you should not go. So let's put the things in the real. Just a small corner in the north of the city of Lisbon, you can't go, but tourism wouldn't go, never. There is no hotels there. There is no good restaurants. There is nothing for the tourists there. So let's invite the press to come and to report. And is the most important thing that we shall do now.
Engineer Raul Martins, I think that's an excellent suggestion. Could I ask whether the Secretary of State for Tourism and the AHP are available to help subsidize travel of foreign tourists to come and see Lisbon?
can answer, Manuel. We have been doing that for a couple of years now. So not only Tourism of Portugal has been doing that, inviting all the journalists and all the even tour operators that would like to come and visit Portugal. So I have to tell you that Tourism Portugal has 15 delegations representing more than 20 countries. And so we have been in strong contact, very continuous contact with all our delegations that are spread throughout the world. And fan trips are something that is part of our DNA. But I was saying that not only Tourism of Portugal, but our regional entities, Turismo do Porto e Norte, Centro, Alentejo, Algarve, Madeira, Açores, Lisboa. So all of us have a specific budget to do that. And I have to tell you that I've been watching the news throughout this weekend, and a lot of reporters, a lot of journalists that are based here, they work for Euronews, Sky News, CNN, and so on. They have been making amazing testimonials about Portugal. Very clear, assertive testimonials saying that they go to a restaurant, they go to the beach, they go to a hotel, and they find that all the rules are in place. So these guys are really precious to us because they have an unbiased approach. And so we should work with them, with all the delegations that are here in Portugal, from these newspapers, from all these journals, from these newspapers and so on, and also working with our delegations, Tourism of Portugal delegations spread across the world.
Thank you very much. A question for Dr. Miguel Barbosa. What sort of investments do you think, or do you perceive that your organization should be looking at now to help the tourism ecosystem in Portugal perhaps deal better with relaunching itself? Are there specific sorts of investments, or has there been a change in the investment guidelines of your organization with a view to helping bootstrap this relaunch of tourism in Portugal?
Yes, Manuel, definitely. Portugal has quite a vibrant startup ecosystem nowadays, composed of around 3,000 startups and more than 130 incubator and accelerators. And this probably led to Portugal being considered recently as a strong innovator by the European Innovation Scoreboard. And Portuguese startups take quite seriously that Portugal has won for 3 consecutive years the best destination in the world, but also that Portugal has been considered by Forbes as the world friendliest country recently also. And if we might compare, for example, big corporations and startups, big corporations are more or less like big container ships, but startups are like more speedboats. And so they can rapidly adapt their business models, their services, and their products in the way the market goes with more speed than the big corporations can. And this is what some of the startups in Portugal have been doing. And I have more than saying that they have been doing. I can show you some examples. For example, a startup that we have, for example, which is Oliofra, that does amenities for hotels and spas. And amenities are those small bottles that you usually have in the hotel bathrooms. And obviously, as other companies, they recently added alcohol gel to their portfolio, but with a twist. This alcohol gel is made from grapes and not from refined crude oil, so much smoother on the skin than the other alcohol gel that you have. Or, for example, Luggit, a company that is also in our portfolio that gives to the tourist a service when the time between arriving at the airport and arriving at the destination, at the accommodation, is big, or when leaving the destination and arriving at the airport, it's also quite big. So if you have a big time with your luggage in the city, and they are present in Lisbon and Porto, they can collect your luggage, go get it to storage, and then deliver it at the time and place that you want it, and you don't have to carry your luggage throughout the city, and then you can enjoy more a day of the city without having your luggage behind you and carry it all the way. This is the service that they have, and they recently added a new service, which is a sanitization service of the luggage, thus ensuring that the luggage, when it arrives at the hotel, is clean and safe, much like the safe of the seal of Tourism de Portugal, and ensuring that the tourist is safe, but also ensuring the tourist a terrific activity and experience in Portugal in these two cities where they are. So startups are important. They can adapt very rapidly to the environment and adapt their business model in the way that the market wants. And this way it's working with the tourists to get them safe against COVID.
Thank you very much, Miguel. I have another question here from Ms. Mitchell that's on the call. She's asking if you could explain to her how the clean and safe process works.
I probably believe, as I'm from Portugal Ventures, I'm more on the investment side. This is more on the tourism Portugal side that the seal is given. But
sorry, I wasn't clear on that. I think that's either for Madam Secretary Rita or
probably Rita is more in line with answering that.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, very quickly. So the seal has three characteristics that I would like very much to highlight. First, it's everything is done online, so it's a virtual seal in the sense that you go online. So you are the manager of the accommodation, for instance, or a restaurant. You go online. You have a set of rules that you have to comply. You sign those rules, so you commit yourself to comply with all the rules, and then the seal is given. So first, it's online. Second, it's free of charge, so you don't pay anything to get the seal. Of course, you have to make some investments. Yes, you do, for your staff, putting some kind of barriers, physical barriers according to the protocols that have been defined by the health authorities, but you don't have to pay for the seal. And third, it's voluntary, so it's something that if you don't want it, because we have to distinguish here the minimum standards that are established by the health authority, and then the seal, the clean and safe seal. So this is kind of a surplus, an extra, an add-on that you go for it or you don't go for it. So digital, free of charge, voluntary. So of course we do have random inspections. So and it's important to say that if you commit to the rules, then you have a high chance of getting an inspection. And we do that according to two different perspectives. First, Tourism of Portugal is visiting the sites, and it's carrying random inspections to the sites. Up to now, 3 sites have been so the stamps for the 3 sites have been abolished, eliminated. So we delete those stamps in these 3 sites. And also, second vector, second dimension, everyone, all of us can go to the website Clean and Safe, and they can rank the establishment. So you can give a green light, yellow light, red light. And if a site gets a lot of green, nothing happens. But if you get a lot of yellows and at least 3 reds, you get an inspection. So in that case, so basically our main concern was to engage everybody to be policeman or woman in order to get a robust inspection system. And this is really important to us. Up to now, more than 50% of our hotels have already the stamp. Travel agents, almost 50% as well. Tourism animation companies, 30%. So, and we do have stamps in museums, monasteries, restaurants, guides, for instance, they can have the stamp. And so the stamp now is alive and kicking, and pretty much all the activities can get the stamp that relate with tourism, of course. I hope I was clear and short enough.
Thank you very much, Madam Secretary. Perhaps I think we've now gone through nearly all the questions that have been submitted. Perhaps a final question we could ask both yourself, Madam Secretary, and Engineer Martins is, any messages for us, anything that you think us as private operators in different capacities in the ecosystem. I think on the call here we have people in the hotel sector, people in the media sector, people that are working in travel in one way or another. Any messages of things you think we should be doing? Anything that you'd like to see us being more careful about? Besides obviously the hygiene rules, which I think we're all learning to be paranoid about. But perhaps Madam Secretary and then Engineer Martins, anything you'd like to see from us?
I have a challenge for you, in fact. So, in tourism, we have been strong in tourism. It's not because of, there is a reason why we are so strong in tourism. It is because across different governments, across private and public entities, we have had a consensus towards tourism strategy. And so the strategy that we have in place has been discussed, has been appreciated, has been recognized by everyone to be a nice instrument, to be a nice map. And so I guess that the consensus here is very important. And going back to the question that you raised about lobbying, about trying to have a proper public relationship machine in order to clarify what's going on in Portugal. I think public and private needs to be together. So my challenge to you, and because I do know that you have a lot of associates, can be very useful to the country and very useful to the sector, to the tourism sector, to the business, to the people that are employed in the sector, is that I would like very much that all of us, each one of us, could post something nice about the country, about saying that the rules are being applied, that we have gone to the beach yesterday and there was we didn't have those pictures that we found in UK a couple of days ago. So if all of us could organize and to show, organize ourselves and to show that we are a clean and safe destination, I think it would be a massive movement, a massive claim that we are together, that we believe in our country, and that we can make a difference. And so that's my challenge to you.
And you'd like us to do that with the hashtag can't skip Portugal or can't skip opening when we post?
Perfect. Can't skip opening, can't skip Portugal. Sounds perfect. Yes. So I think it's very simple. And let me just say, we have 400 people working in the industry today, 400. We have more than 132,000 companies. Can you imagine what all of us could do to change the mindset that some foreign countries have about us? If all of us could make a small post with some pictures, with nice things about the country, about nice things that we have done so far, because we achieved a lot. Of course, we need to improve a lot. We all know that, but I think we could stay together in these troubled times in order to celebrate some winning, so to have some success in the future for all of us. Yes.
There we are. Some homework for everybody online today.
Thank you so much.
I think that the difference to can't skip opening is to show the tourism that the diversity of Portugal is huge. We are not only beach and sun, like everybody knows. We have monuments. We have the interior of the country that is very, very, very diversity and very nice to visit. There is rural areas, very interesting. There is the wine in the Douro or all over the country that you can visit. Because there is so many things to do. that are shown in the Countskip Portugal, that it's what my message for the tourism in Great Britain is very important. Think that Portugal has a very nice diversity and try it to visit different areas that you have never visited, because you'll be surprised.
Thank you very much. Madam Secretary, sorry to pull you back to one question. We have an American-owned DMC, so it's an organization that brings people into Portugal, asking by when do you think you'll have the majority of the inspections of the Clean and Solve? By when do you think you can represent to travel agents that you've visited the majority of the clean and safe sites?
That's a very important question. We are working daily on that. So I don't have a specific date, but I will try to get one, and I will come back to you shortly with the date and with some data showing that we have a robust system, a robust inspection system, because that's one of our biggest concerns, as I was telling you. So yes, I will come back to you shortly with that answer, with precise dates. When we will have all the data, the statistics in place in order to testify that we are a secure, clean and safe destination.
Perfect. Okay, and tell me something, could you also come back to us with a list of the places like Cova de Mora and so on that we should ask tourists not to visit?
Yeah, sure. We prepare a press release that has been launched on Friday with all the information. So I'll be happy to disclose that to you.
Is that on your site? Is that on the Tourism de Portugal site?
I don't think so. It has been sent to all the newspapers, national newspapers, and the international ones, also to the association, to Raul. He knows what I'm talking about because we talked over the phone about it. And yeah, I'll send it to you. Just to put an email. I guess that we have an email from you.
If, Helena has from the BPCC.
Okay.
So
as soon as we close this session, I will send you a pack of information, and if you can help us to disseminate that pack of information, it would be really awesome, because basically it has some facts about the situation. It describes exactly what are regions or areas, freguesias, that are impacted, and what has been done so far in order to control the situation. So everything is there, and if it's not, please say so, and we are most happy to improve the material.
Okay, and one final word that I'm also getting here from people. I know that we're getting an enormous amount of interest for people for the Champions League games that are happening in early August. So I think that's also a great opportunity, given our presence in international football, to get our message across as well.
For sure. I think we will have a couple of good news relating events very shortly, not only the Champion League, but also some others. So let's wait and see. We are working on that. It's very important to have international organizations like UEFA and others looking at the map and seeing that Portugal has really a nice offer as far as events are concerned. We do know that we won't have packed stadiums, because we cannot have packed stadiums. We cannot have it because the rules will not allow it. But still, the projection, the promotion of the country as a safe destination, it's going to be massive. So we are very happy to see that we have all the conditions to host those type of events, big events.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, everybody. That's been very useful. We all have our homework. I think some additional hashtags have been suggested by some of the people in the chat windows here of Visit Portugal and so on. So let's pick up those hashtags and get to work. Thank you very much. Please keep up the good work, and please continue helping us sell our beautiful country to not just the UK, but the world.
Thank you so much, and stay safe. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
If you don't mind, I'll be thanking everyone on behalf of the British Portuguese Chamber of Commerce. Madam Secretary of State, thank you so much for taking the time out of a busy schedule to join us at this webinar. Raul Martins, President of the Association de Hotelaria de Portugal, Portugal's Hotel Association, and Altis Hotel. Thank you also very much for coming. Miguel Barbosa, Investment Director and Tourism at Portugal Ventures, thank you for joining us. And Manuel Rosa da Silva, Owner and Manager at Santiago de Alcântara Boutique Hotel, thank you so much for taking the lead. And helping us moderate this amazing webinar. To all of you that attended the webinar, we thank you very much for coming. I hope this has been to your liking, and see you again soon at another of our events. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.